If you go to the blogs or to anything and Google, why does a septic tank have to be pumped? Everyone is going to tell you that part of the regular maintenance of a septic tank is regular pumping. And we at TankTechsRx for septic systems totally agree with that. Tanks do have to be pumped. But how often they have to be pumped is the issue. If you go to those same sites, you'll find very complicated systems of how many people live in the house, how big is the tank, and they'll tell you how you can figure out about how often, but they'll always tell you, this is just a guess. We don't know what the condition of your tank is. The only thing that they all agree on for certain is if your tank reaches a 50% sludge and scum level, and we describe that in other FAQs, but if it reaches that, you have to pump the tank, and we completely agree with that. Pump it, because not to pump it is foolish, because if this sludge gets into this drain field, it can wreck your entire system. The question comes up is how often, the interval. Timing is a very dangerous thing, because if you guess wrong and say, well, I pump my tank every 3 years, it might not fill for until every 6 years, or it might fill in 2. You don't know. The only way to know is to check the tank yourself. And if you have a professional come and do it, demand that he use a sludge judge, which is a clear plastic tube. We have that on other videos that shows you the exact level. What most of them are going to do is they're going to come out, look at the hole, they're going to see a little scum on the top and say, yeah, it has to be plugged, or it has to be pumped. Because that's their job, to pump a tank, and that's the safety measure for them. It's not dishonest, that's what they do. They pump tanks. But does it need to be done at that moment or not? The only way to know is to test that for the sludge level. And we show you how to do that in other places. What we do know for certain, in every tank that we put this in the last 14 years, it greatly expands the time from 2 or 3 years out to the longest tank we have is now 14 years that it has not been pumped, since using 1 liter a year in that septic tank. But you must check the tank on a regular basis, because there's no way on earth I can tell you what's going on in your tank. But if you will add this and use the instruction we give you to check this, it's going to be years before you have to pump it. But you only pump it when it's actually right to pump it. And our tanks, you do not want to pump prematurely. One of our customers had a tank that was in his area. He was selling his house and moving a couple of miles away. His tank was clean and clear, relatively speaking, of course, with nothing wrong with the tank. He pumped the tank out, which was required by law, drove 3 miles away and had the tanker trump pump the probiotics from his tank into the new house that had been sitting vacant because that tank was empty. He wanted to start off with a strong mother culture. Perfect solution. We can't tell you if your tank needs to be pumped or not. It must be inspected. But what we can tell you in our experience is the people that have been using this on a regular basis, 1 liter a year, in most cases, have not had to pump their tanks.